Let's review this then. This 6-year-old Zanussi. Yeah, by the time this was out, the Lindo 300s were out, and the Lindo 100s. Actually, then this was probably then dropped. This comes from 2015, so it's now 6-year-old. It hasn't really been used for the last 2 years. This came from, I used to live in a house share in 2019, and they bought it 3 years old used, and then we used it for a year, and then I bought it off them because I didn't buy it, and so I know it fully works. Still does. Give it a bit of a scrub up. It's what surprised me at the time was that this is a proper made Zanussi, made at a time when they were all being made like junk. The proper junk ones. The single paddled Zanussis and the like. That's because this is a 8 kilo 1200 spin, classes a larger capacity. The model number is ZKN7120L. The L stands for the 8 kilo. So there you go. So if you've got an L model, you've got an 8 kilo. So what that means is that the drum, look at that. Yeah. The proper Nidec motor. That is a 7 kilo Zanussi drum from 15 years ago that they've obviously just carried on using. That means it should have a proper good bearing brace at the back and good bearings in it. So they can last for a long time. Of course, if you had the lemon one, it would only last 4 years before the bearings went. That was always the case. Yes, that was the rules. You either got 15 years or 4 years for the bearings. Same with the PCB. You got 4 years or 15 years. You didn't get either. There was nothing in between. We've got the normal door seal with the concertina in the bottom, which means water sits there. Unlike every Zanussi that was made at this point, you get a proper filter flat there at the bottom with a filter. Unfortunately, this isn't a jet system. Right, so we've got 20 programs to play with. All the temperatures on the dial. There's no variable temperature. You do get a variable spin though. Right, so into the first one, we've got Cotton 90. It's 2 hours 20. All the cycles, again, run with the older programming. So unfortunately, this machine doesn't have an active half load. The other problem is that that display is quite dim, really, for what it is. You can't really see it on camera, but I can. But you've got to be standing. Hang on, actually, let's just do this. Let's see if we can see now. I don't think you can. Yeah, if you look it dead on, this display isn't made for you looking straight on. You've got to be looking from above, like at standing height. If you look at it straight on, it pretty much disappears. Let me just show you. You can see it now. See what I mean? You're looking down on it. So anyway, we've got Cotton 90, which is 2 hours 20. Cotton normal 60 is 2 hours 40. Cotton normal 40, which is 2 hours. Cotton 30, which is 2 hours 10. And Cotton cold is 1 hour 35. We've also got variable spin of 1200, 900, 700, 500 RPM, rinse hold, and then we've got these options here. One says Eco, which you can still select with Cotton 90. It does actually reduce the temperature to 60, but actually is actually shorter. And then you got Super Quick as well, which will it's more for a half load. So for the cotton cycles, it's made for 4 kilos instead of 8 kilo. It's made for lightly soiled laundry as well. You can add a pre-wash to the cycle as well. This has 37 minutes, though it does change amongst which actual cotton setting you've got it on, including temperature, including things like super quick and eco and stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense, but basically a pre-wash adds on around 25 minutes, despite whatever it says on the display. Got easy iron, which will juice the final spin. It does basically bursts, so even at 900 RPM, if it did a long 900 RPM it'd be alright, but a short 900 RPM will leave everything still soaking wet, because it does burst about 5 or 6 times or something like that. It adds on a load of time, simply because of the final spin pattern to it. If you add a pre-wash to it, the pre-wash sends it through the roof, simply because the pre-wash also does the same kind of pattern. So a pre-wash intermediate spin then becomes like half an hour all of a sudden. We've also got extra rinse, which will add on 2 rinses on the cotton cycles. Super quick, I'm sure, adds 2 as well. Not too sure about that. As per normal, it will do 3 rinses as standard. So, and it will do 2 rinses on super quick. So it ups the rinse count on super quick to 2 to 4, and on normal 3 to 5, and on eco 2 to 4. Right, talking of eco, right, this is where eco actually kicks in here. So to get your A++ energy rating, you select 60 or 40, then select the eco. It increases the wash length on cotton 60 as with eco to 3 hours 20, and on 40 degrees it increases it from 2 hours to 2 hours 40, so it adds on 40 minutes by the looks of things. Super quick on 60 degrees is 1 hour, super quick on 40 degrees is 55 minutes, and on 30 degrees, you can't have eco, it's super quick at 30 degrees is 50 minutes, and at cold it's 28 minutes. 30 minutes. Right, they all take 8 kilo, of course, being the cotton cycles. Right, move on to synthetics. Made for half load of man-made fibres, so it takes 4 kilos basically. Like all synthetics programs, it ends with a shorter 900 RPM spin. It is actually an overall shorter main wash. You can select eco as well. If you select synthetics 40, there's a special eco program. Basically, if you select 60 degrees in eco, it reduces to about 40 degrees as well. Watch 40 degrees, same again. 30 doesn't exist. If you also notice, we've got super quick on synthetics as well. Ready? So we've got super quick at 60 degrees is 50 minutes. Super quick at 40 degrees synthetics is 40 minutes. And super quick at 30 degrees on synthetics is 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Yes, that's it. That's your lot. In fact, adding a pre-wash makes the whole entire cycle nearly 3 times longer. And easy iron, wow, what really adds to it. And then cold, you would imagine, is only 10 minutes. And it's actually 20 minutes still. Doesn't actually save any time on synthetics cold. Pro tip, basically synthetics 30 degrees super quick is also known as refresh 20 on other machines. Just telling you that because there's no actual separate quick wash programs on this machine. Delicates is made for washing a half load of delicate synthetic laundry, up to 4 kilos. What it doesn't do, unlike synthetics, is do intermediate spins. So it also does high wash water level and high rinse water level. So basically it's made for washing things like curtains and stuff like that, delicate dresses. And it works rather fine, I've found in the past. You can have super quick at 40 degrees delicate and it's 35 minutes. Super quick Delicates at 30 degrees is 30 minutes. And cold super quick delicates is 25 minutes. Right. Delicates super quick 30 degrees is mini 30. There we go. We've also got a pre-wash, which will add on, really, just 7 minutes? That can't be right. And 7 minutes on cold, but 25 minutes on 40. And 25 minutes on 30. Must just do a rinse then on delicates cold. Pre-wash. Weird. Hang on, let's... To prove that right, actually, if we just turn it to super quick, which adds only 25 minutes. Yeah, pre-wash then only becomes 16 minutes. I'm going to test that out. Right, onwards. So, we've got hand wash 30 degrees. Now, it's made for washing a quarter load, 2 kilo of basically any fabrics labelled as hand wash only. Also, if it doesn't have a label in it, for example, you can wash it on hand wash. And you can have 30 degrees or you can have cold. There's no options with this whatsoever. You can just adjust the spin speed and that's it. Then we've got the wool cycle at 40 degrees. No options again. Again, washes 2 kilo, quarter load in just over an hour at 40 degrees. Very, very, very gently. Hand washing and wool aren't that much different actually in terms of how they work. Though hand wash is more, agitates a lot more than wool does. But essentially they kind of run basically a very similar program. We've got jeans at 40 degrees. What this does, despite saying 1200 RPM, it does spin at 1200 RPM, don't worry about that. But it will do a shorter 1200 RPM. It's a hybrid cotton and synthetic cycle that runs basically a cotton length wash cycle as if it's got extra rinse already added onto it. So what it does is it will reduce the intermediate spins to a much slower 450 RPM. Actually, I think these are up to about 900 RPM actually. It might have changed, 900 RPM. And then what it's for is washing a half load of darks such as denim jeans and t-shirts and jerseys and stuff like that. This is why it's 2 hours 12 still and quite a long program. But it's mostly down to the rinsing. The fact it's got to do 5 rinses in that time. And then that means that all the detergent has been hopefully washed out of your darks so it doesn't discolour them. Soak 30 degrees allows up to a full load of fabrics simply to be... It's more like an additional pre-wash. It's a long version of a 30 degree pre-wash basically. In fact, I'm pretty sure it ends on a rinse hold kind of mode. I've never actually used it though, so maybe I should use it. Right, rinse and spin. Now this is rinses and spin. If you select 1200 or 900 RPM, it will do 3 rinses as standard and will run a full length cotton rinse and spin pattern, even at 900 RPM. If you select 700 or 500, it should run a delicate rinse and spin pattern. But the time's not actually adjusting for it, which, so it might still be running cotton one. Normally it does, normally selecting 700 or 500 normally runs delicate rinses and spin. And we've got drain only, which will drain all the water out. And then spin only, it's a full length cotton spin. Again, it's always been if you select 700 and 500 that it does a slower spin, although it looks like in this case it's not doing that. Anyway, let's set up for this wash then. Just like synthetic 60. I know we're washing like mixed cottons, but we'll do a cotton spin afterwards. Right, so this is our detergent drill. This is a slightly more modified version of the classic Zanussi drill that they've had for 25, 30 years. This time we've now got a grey softener grate, which is carried on from the washer dryers. And we've also got this as well. This little blue thing. Pull it down like that, you can add liquid, leave it up, and it's for powder. I was going to stick another drill, a Zanussi essential drills in, but I noticed that it doesn't actually have this at all in it whatsoever. So it's a nice little addition over the years. So it's got its markers on it, 100ml, 60ml. Put it in there. And of course we've got the space for our fabric softener here. Obviously don't go beyond the max line here inside it. Actually that's doing pretty well. It's holding up the liquid. I mean it's still going in very slowly, but press start. Door's locked. Smells clean. Anyway, what's it going to get out of 10 then? Well, it's going to get 8 out of 10. There's a bit of a reason why. So this is a proper made Zanussi. But the problem is, this also got a proper price to go with it. I'm sure, if I remember, these are like 450 quid. Now, when the 7 and 6 kilos were obviously like a good 100 quid cheaper, and you got more with them, because you got variable temperature with them as well, you kind of start to think, why am I paying the extra 100 quid? It's worth paying the extra 100 quid, because you do get then the older, better, more refined 7 kilo old drum in it. But the programming is also out of date as well. Like, it wasn't in line with the 7 and 6 kilos that were also being sold at the time. Bit of an odd one really, and a bit of a hard one to choose. I find that quite odd as well. The fact that it's still called Flixidose, but Flixidose only applies to the 2-drawer compartment ones, not the 3 drawers. I don't know, bizarre anyway. Right, so there you are, 8 out of 10. It's a nice solid machine. For a normal large family, I think this is actually quite good actually, and it's quite simple and straightforward to actually use. Yes, there's no direct quick washers, but you can have a quick wash at any temperature you want, and at any fabric you want. So actually, it doesn't really matter. That is actually pretty cool. Right, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you again in another review. Bye for now.